Hello everyone, it's Digi. Just a quick impromptu video really, because I've seen that the Final Fantasy 15 Twitter account and sort of Square's sort of media department, I guess, have been discussing this sort of FF Legacies hashtag that they've got going on at the minute, obviously in celebration of 15 coming out at the end of the month. And it's quite an interesting little video. It's only about 6 minutes long or so, and it's just a sort of a lot of people just kind of explaining sort of their Final Fantasy memories and sort of what got them into the series really. And as 15 is fast approaching, I thought that's quite a nice idea. So I thought I'd get on that really. So it's hopefully just going to be a short little video. Just sort of with a bit of thought really, just a bit of a just sort of talking to you really. Like I say, it's a bit impromptu, so forgive me if I do slip up a little bit. But it's just sort of freewheeling it. Let's see how we go. FF Legacies. I mean, I first got into the series with Final Fantasy VIII. That was the first one I ever played. And do you know what? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it was the first full-on RPG that I ever played on any kind of system. I was a PlayStation kid growing up, and I had all these, all sorts of games for it. But the first proper RPG I had was definitely Final Fantasy VIII. And it was, at the time, absolutely mind-blowing, because you had such, I guess freedom would be the best word. It was such a rich world to explore. And, I mean, looking back on it now as a 24-year-old, you see that whilst the characters weren't necessarily the greatest, it was such an interesting story. And it had such an odd battle system because, as I said, I hadn't really played RPGs before, and the games I had played were sort of more action adventures, really. They didn't have sort of this turn-based magic attack system that Final Fantasy VIII had, and it was really interesting to get into, actually. With the draw system and the different ways that you had the summons and the specials and all these bits and pieces, so it was a bit overwhelming at first, but When I got into it, I just remember just being absolutely blown away by the complexity of the whole thing and just how well it all worked together. And then, so I played 8 for a little bit, and then the next one I went on to play was actually 10. When I got a PS2, I played Final Fantasy 10. And then the sequel to it, 10-2. Out of the two, I personally prefer 10-2. By this point in time, I knew about the older games, and I knew that, I knew about the old style battle systems and the sort of the job classes and things like that, and I felt that 10-2 really sort of reminded me of that job system and the whole sort of swapping on the fly kind of thing. And I actually thought it was, it's quite an interesting story. The characters were great. A little bit of it was sort of controversial in a way, but I thought it was an absolutely fine title. Really enjoyed, the music, the story, the characterization, everything like that. And 10 also had its fair share of great moments. It had some fantastic characters. The battle system was, I think, one of the most polished in the series still. It still keeps that nice sort of ATB system rolling, but it feels a lot more fluid in 10 than it does in some of the other games. So I had 10 and 10-2, and then I actually went backwards. I picked up FF9 after I think I watched a video of it just on at random, and really enjoyed what I saw. So I picked it up, got myself a PS1 copy, and started playing it, and absolutely fell in love with it. I would, I can happily go out on a limb and say that FF9 is my favourite in the series. It's, the style of it, it's a really sort of slightly cuter, sort of more, sort of like a chibi style in a way, but not quite. But it had a lot more sort of artistic style to it. The characters are absolutely magnificent. I love the entire cast of Final Fantasy IX. And, the story is really, really deep. Obviously a lot of them are. The Final Fantasy games are, high regard for the story, but I think 9 really struck a chord with me just more than any of the others did. Zidane's story and what he fights for and everything like that. He's a really good sort of role model character, and I really enjoyed playing as him through the story of 9. But yeah, like I say, FF9 definitely my favourite in the series. I have dabbled with 7, and I can appreciate that it is a groundbreaking game. It was, for the time, this was unprecedented material. As some of you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of 7, but at the same time, I can appreciate what it did for the series and what it did for gaming as a whole. It was just so left field when it came in, and absolutely blew everyone away with the detail, with the story and the characterization and everything like that. It was just some kind of phenomenal tidal wave that blitzed the PS1 and away it came. But I think from there the games have gone sort of from strength to strength, really. A lot of people I know didn't enjoy 13. I quite liked the characters, and I thought the story was interesting enough. 13.2 did a nice job with the sequel, as X2 did, and sort of kept everything rolling with some new characters and a nice new way of fighting. With the whole transformation bits and pieces again. But recently I've started playing 14 as well. I say recently, it's been about a year or so now, probably 2. But 14, really enjoyed getting into that. Was never a big fan of sort of MMOs, especially pay-to-play ones, sort of subscription-based MMOs. But 14 has had enough good content to it and really interesting systems that it's just kept me going back every so often and just sort of going back for more, because it really is sort of just an interesting experience. I played 14 1.0, so before A Realm Reborn, I played the original FF14, and I wasn't that keen on it. There was a lot of things that needed changing. I came through, and it was just absolutely stunning how much they changed. Like the difference between 1.0 and 2.0 was astounding. They had really drilled down and got to what was needed in that game and what worked, what didn't, and stuff like that. And they really polished that up nicely. So major props to the 14 team for that. And as I said, I've got a little bit of history. I've played a couple of the originals on, sort of the remade versions, like Final Fantasy 1 for the PSP and, 3 for the DS and whatever. So I've played a couple of the remakes, but 9 still has that little special place in my heart, really. So with 15 around the corner, I guess a couple of years, that it's just amazing to think that it's coming out soon. It's what? I'm recording this on the 11th of November, so it's, 2 weeks away-ish. And it's just incredible that I'm finally going to get hands on it after all the demos and after all the videos and all the stories and interviews and magazines and bits and pieces like that. It's almost here, and I am ridiculously excited for it. I think it's going to be definitely be a time sink. I've not sort of sunk my teeth into a game for quite a while. I've not really sort of just sat down and played it. But I think 15 is definitely going to change that. It's the characters are amazing. The visually, it's gorgeous. The music is beautiful. It's really quite something special, and I'm very much sort of I'm buzzing, I guess, with just sort of. I don't know how to say it. It's I really want to get my hands on it now, but I know that it's going to be worth the wait. I know we were all sort of oh god about it when it just kept getting delayed and delayed, but I can see the love and the effort that the dev team have put into this game and the amount of behind the scenes things that they've given us and everything like that. It is looking like it's going to be a very, very big labour of love, and I am super duper ready to get my hands on it. It's going to be great. And, like I said, I came from sort of very humble beginnings with sort of, 8 and 9, really, and here we are, sort of, 16 years later since 9 came out, at least? So it's pretty solid kind of history, really. But that was just my sort of little contribution to the FF Legacies hashtag social media thing. Hope you enjoyed this short little video. Like I said, it was just a bit of an impromptu sort of chat, really, just to kind of say hello. This is my FF history. But I encourage you guys to get involved as well. I mean, it's just a hashtag, like I say, on social media, FF Legacies, all one word, and it seems like a nice little way of sort of just spreading the love, really, for the series. And you know, why not? Why not have a little chat about it? Because it's a momentous occasion. So I'm more than happy to contribute to it. But again, thank you very much for listening, everybody. Sorry if I was a little bit boring and went off the rails slightly, but hey ho, that's how these videos go. But yeah, see you next time.